I believe that 60% of your product launch depends on the product sourcing you do and the product research you do. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mir. I'm the founder of mirwaleed.com. I make regular videos about Amazon FBA, and in today's video, not me, we will be teaching you about how to do the sourcing of a product that you have find through Amazon product research method that I teach you in my last video. If you haven't checked my last video, you can check the link in the description, or you can find out in my YouTube channel. So in this video, Mubin will be teaching you how to do the sourcing. Mubin basically handles the sourcing and logistics for our agency. So he will be teaching you how to do sourcing, complete A to Z tutorial. So you have to watch the complete video in order to get the know-how of sourcing, and this is one of the most important step after the product research. And I would say that product research and product sourcing both are the most crucial stages of your Amazon product launch, and I believe that 60% of your product launch depends on the product sourcing you do and the product research you do. In both these steps, you get to know about how your product is and what you have find through. In both these steps, you cover the most important things like pricing, revenue, sales, reviews, ratings, differentiation point, and everything. So these are very important. Now watch the complete video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe and hit the like button and turn on the notification bell icon so you can get notified for my every new video. So let's get on to the screen.
Hey guys, this is Mubin. So in this video we're going to be talking about how to source your product from Alibaba. So basically, once your product is finalized, you then need the actual physical copy of the product in order to sell it on Amazon. To get started, let's say your product is garlic press. So we're going to be going to on Alibaba and we're going to type garlic press. So there are two methods of reaching out to suppliers. One is through RFQ and the other one is through messaging suppliers directly. So the RFQ one is quite simple. So to send an RFQ, write rfqalibaba.com. So you will be directed to page something like this, and then you need to click on submit RFQ. So you just fill all the information regarding your product, what type of product you're looking for, and you also get the chance to describe your product. So I personally do not recommend RFQ, as you know, when you're done filling all the information and you click submit, then after a day or two you will be messaged by various suppliers. Some would have the relevant product that you're looking for, and some would have the product that is not relevant to you. So I personally do not like this method. So instead of sending an RFQ, we're going to be talking about how to message suppliers directly. So let's say my product was something like this, garlic press. So let's say I'm selling this design, okay, this one. So we're going to be going to Alibaba and we're going to look for the design that is relevant to our product. Let's say this one is, so we're going to be opening it in another tab. Let's scroll down a bit to see if there are more like these. Once you see the supplier, you know, his information and all regarding the product he's selling, so you need to look for various things before messaging the supplier. One thing is that he should have trade assurance. Trade assurance basically protects you from any kind of, you know, if something bad happens or your product is the product that your supplier shipped to you was not up to the mark, so Alibaba would take responsibility for it. So you would always have to look for trade assurance. It would look like this, and the amount of experience the seller has, and the response time. The lower the response time, the better it is. So he is a gold supplier, as you can see. Gold supplier are always better, and his experience he has, and then the product he is selling. So we made sure that he is trade assurance, and he has good experience, and he has good response time. So if we click on contact supplier, so name is Gary, right? So you, I personally recommend that the inquiry you send to your supplier has to be short, as supplier would basically ignore all the things you say and would start with their question. So the whole idea for writing this local seller base in Pakistan was that once you tell the supplier that you're selling on Amazon, then they would charge you different. Okay, I have experienced it, and so instead of writing that you're going to be selling on Amazon, you just write we're going to sell locally and then your country, whatever it is. So this may get you lower prices than the supplier was to give it to someone who was selling on Amazon. So I have past experience where I was being told different prices uh, because I had mentioned that we were going to sell on Amazon. But then I tried messaging the same supplier from different account, and I didn't mention we were selling on Amazon and we were going to be selling it locally. Then the price they gave me was different than the price they gave me on another account that I messaged them before, where I had mentioned that I was going to sell on Amazon. So yeah, that's just a small tip from me. So now let's move forward. MOQ is basically minimum order quantity. So many suppliers have their minimum order quantity, which means that they are not going to sell, let's say their MOQ is 50, so they're not going to sell you their product if you're going to buy, let's say, 20 units, because their minimum order quantity is 50. So I asked her MOQ, which would be, she would tell me, so she would tell me her MOQ and her EXW price. EXW price. We are going to be discussing about EXW price later. Here's a little definition for now. So basically, it stands for X works, which means that the supplier would, let's say you have your own shipping agent who would ship for you. So let's say he's in China, so you give the supplier her or his address, and then he or she would ship it to them, and in return they would charge you. So that is basically XW. So I asked her to let me know her MOQ and EXW price. So I would send an inquiry. You'll get an instant pop-up message, so better to ignore it. So suppliers basically in China, they are most of the time they will reply you in the morning till afternoon. So you have to make sure that you are messaging them at their time when it's morning, from let's say 7 to 4 p.m. That's the time they would be replying you, and after that they would go to their homes or whatever. So that's the time that you should be messaging them. So that was how you message a supplier. So once you message the supplier reaches out to you. To get your targeted price, you have to let's say she tells you her MOQ, which is, let's say, 100. So, and she tells her EXW price, which is, let's say, $1.76, as you can see. So you then negotiate with her. Okay, let's say she gets to 1.6, so at 50 units. So you then raise your MOQ, the units you will be getting. So you then ask her the price for, let's say, 300 units. So she would definitely lower the price, then let's say 1.5, and then you gradually start increasing your units. Let's say you were to get 1,000 units, you would first tell her that you would get 50 units. The price would be higher, and then once you gradually increase the price, increase the units that you tell her that you will be getting, let's say 1,000, so her price may go to 1.3 or 4. This is how I get uh, the price that we want, which is landing cost, which means that uh, product cost and shipping cost. We discussed how to reach out to suppliers. We discussed RFQ as reaching out to suppliers directly, and we also discussed the strategies to get your landing cost, and which would lead to you getting the margins you want, and making sure that you get the exact units you're going to sell on Amazon. Let's say you were to get 700 units, so you tell them that you get 700 units, and then you get the landing cost that you want. So that's how we do it. And another tip, that is that you should definitely finalize 3 to 5 suppliers. So the reason being is that once you have, let's say, 3 to 5 suppliers, you ship their samples, and let's say one of it does not fall into the category that you want, or let's say it is not up to the mark, so you can move to the other sample that you have from the other supplier. So that's the benefit that you get when you have, multiple samples. uh, so it is always recommended that you first get the samples from the suppliers. Let's say she gives me, where was she? Here. So let's say she gives me $1.5 price, which is what I wanted. So I would then ask her to send me samples. Let's say I get the address of my shipping agent from him, and then I message her my shipping agent's address, and she would uh, ship the sample to him, and then he would ship it to my destination. Or you can ask your supplier to directly send it to you. So by sending it to your shipping agent and then to you, this way it would be cheaper if you have, you have samples in bulk. And if it is not the case, and you're, let's say, getting 3 to 4 samples, then it is better to uh, have your supplier ship it for you. So once she ships the sample, I then take the tracking ID from her and send it to my shipping agent, who would get, so just to make sure that he gets the exact sample that we had sent it to him. So that was how you ship your samples, and that's exactly how you ship your inventory. Let's say there were 500 units. You pay your supplier 30% upfront payment to start preparing your stock, and then you ask his or her to ship it to your shipping agent, or you tell them to ship it directly to Amazon warehouse, which is called DDP. So supplier will make sure that the goods are transferred safely to your destination, to Amazon warehouse, or uh, your local 3PL service provider. So that is called DDP. And so DDP would of course be higher than EXW, and we personally do EXW. We ask our supplier to ship it to our shipping agent, who then ships to Amazon warehouse. This way it is much cheaper than DDP. And yeah, once your samples are ready, you have evaluated the samples and everything's fine with you, and then you finalize one supplier. Let's say we would call her this, that we finalized this supplier. We would then ask her to prepare the inventory. We would pay 30% upfront payment, and then 70% later once our shipping agent receives the sample. So one more thing, when your product is prepared, you hire an inspection team who would inspect your product. You would tell them the exact specifications of your product that you have, and if it falls in, if it is up to the mark, then it is good for you, and if it's not, then you ask your supplier to to correct it for you, to eliminate all the uh, uh, eliminate all the uh, if it's damaged, to eliminate the damaged product and to separate it from the inventory that you would be shipping to Amazon. As you know, you would not want to ship damaged or damaged product to Amazon warehouse, as it would lead to bad reviews from your supplier. So this was how you do the basic sourcing, and I hope you liked it.